to take care of that for me. So
I love it. That's good. I've just started recording on my end.
Okay.
And
Perfect.
so if you guys want to go ahead and get going, and Jana, if we drop you, then just try calling us back on your phone.
I
Okay,
will. I
just
absolutely
wanted to
will.
say something.
Yes.
There's, I don't know, the mastermind, Lisa Sasevich is at 3:00. Did you know that?
Yeah, it is. And so, yep, thank you.
So if you can, if I can be available, at that time, that would be very cool.
Exactly. No, I think, don't you guys, Dana, Jana, don't you think we'll be done in about an hour's time max?
It probably won't even take that long.
I didn't think so. So
Because
we're good.
it's 2:30, so anyway.
No, it's good. So, okay, so Dina or Jana, whomever.
Well, first, let me just go ahead and introduce
Yeah.
myself since I'm, let me put this other one in real quick. Here we go. Okay. All right. So, hi, everybody.
Hi, love.
I hope you all are doing well. And let me just say thank you for joining us today. My name is Jana Babb, and I met Sarika a few years back when she lived in our neighborhood, and our children played together. And so that is how Sarika and I first met. And she's just a ray of sunshine in my life. I appreciate it. So I appreciate you, Sarika, so much. You always have such a positive outlook. So thank you for that. So let me first start by saying I get a little nervous in these situations. So my heart's pounding.
You're perfect.
Let me, if you guys don't mind, do you mind if I share my story with you?
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
My story starts out with my daughter. My daughter always battled some internal demons, and she's always had sadness in her life. And so when I first started researching CBDs and CBD products, it was originally for myself and some ailments and discomfort that I had been dealing with an injury. But the more I dug deep into it, the more I thought, gosh, I bet this will help my daughter. My daughter is 26, and she is a suicide survivor. October 2010 was the year and the month. So when I started, I get a little emotional on that part because it's my baby girl.
Mm-hmm.
So she's been in and out of some moments of sadness within her life. And when I researched this and found out what this could do for her mental stability, and the possibility of it getting in her body and changing what was going on chemically in her, I knew I had to get this product in her before I got it in me. And so I did that. I reached out to Mary and Dana, who Dana's with us. Mary's not here today. She's feeling a little bit ill. But I reached out to them, and we got going. I got the products in her, my daughter. Within days, you could see a difference. Within a week, she hopped online and she was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. It was as if this sad fog had lifted. And this is a child who's been on so many medications throughout so many times in her life, everything from any type of like anti-seizure medication for depression. She's not on any of those medications. She's just taking her CBD oils, and that's it. And her ability to handle stress and anxiety is so different. So for that, in and of itself, I'm forever grateful that we got it in her body first. And then we put it in my body. And I'm doing about 50, the suggested serving size is 50 milligrams a day. And that's what I'm getting in my body right now. And I have a unilateral fusion at the base of my spine that was just discovered last year, which was causing me my discomfort. And I have to say my ability to move is so much better now. So, I kind of do the math and go, what's the only difference? The difference is the CBD oils that have come into my body. And so, Dana, thank you for taking me on and educating me and helping me.
Yes.
And every day it just seems to get a little bit better and better. I can't believe I didn't know about the beauty of this little plant and what it can do. So having told my story, I'm going to pass this over to Dana in the event that the issues I'm having with my internet decide to cut me out. I want her to go ahead and hop on and tell you guys what she has to tell, because her story's incredible. So with all due respect, Dana, one of our field advisory board members here at Kannaway, go ahead, Dana, and take it away. Thank you so much.
All right. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, perfect.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. That's great. So I knew nothing about CBD oils. My partner and I used to work at Solar City. This is so weird. I'm trying to look at each one of you as I speak, and it's like my whole screen is spread out here. But anyways, my partner and I used to work at Solar City, and she has that plantar fasciitis, and so her feet just kill her. So anyways, one day my buddy walked up to me, and he gave me this little sample, and it was a little sample of the salve, just a little tiny thing. And he said, "Oh, Jana's got it right there. There it is." And he gave me a little sample of that. But anyways, he said, "Here, give this to Mary. She's been complaining about her feet hurting." I said, "Yeah, okay, whatever." So anyways, we go home, and sure enough, her feet are just throbbing. So I said, "Put that stuff on it." And she says, "What is it?" I said, "I don't have a clue in the world. Just see if it works. You've tried everything else." She buys everything, and for her feet. So anyway, she put on her feet, and within a few minutes, she's like, "Dana, my feet don't hurt." I'm like, "Yeah, right, whatever." She's like, "No, seriously, my feet don't hurt." And I thought, "You're serious?" And she said, "Yeah." I said, "Wonder if that would work on my back." I have a back of an 80-year-old, so I have disc degenerative, so my back is crumbling. I have a bulging disc in my lower back, and I have two bones fused together in my neck. So in other words, the rheumatoid arthritis had set in so bad that the chiropractor couldn't adjust my neck anymore. It was getting so bad that I could barely turn my head, to the point where I had to purchase a car. In fact, I just bought this car not too long ago, right before I knew about CBD oils. But anyways, my passenger mirror has a camera on it, and I can see all lanes of the highway now. So anyway, I put a little bit on my lower back because it really kills me. And Audrey, I'm going to pass to you as soon as I finish the story so that we can get your story real quick. But anyways, so I put a little bit on my lower back, and I said, "Now that's really weird. I could almost convince myself it feels better." So I went back to my buddy and I said, "So what is this stuff?" CBD oils. And he started telling me all about CBD oils, and I said, "Stop. You know what? I don't even care what it is, because when they tell you you're going to be in a wheelchair in a couple of years, you don't care what it is. You're willing to try anything." So he said, "But I think you should start ingesting the oils." I'm like, "Okay, whatever. What should I get?" So anyway, so I started ingesting the oils, and after 2 weeks, I turned in bed and my back cracked. I'm like, "No way. My back hasn't cracked in years." Right. Turned the other way, my back cracked again. So anyways, I've been ingesting the oil since June 1st, and I have more flexibility now than when I was a kid. I mean, I can turn my head, no problem.
Wow.
And I'm so proud I can actually touch my toes. It's kind of cool. So anyways, since Audrey was so awesome to jump on this call, and we so appreciate her so much, I don't want to take up too much of her time. Jana asked her to be on the call to tell, she has a phenomenal testimony. You think my testimony is good? Nothing to compare to this kid right here. And I'm so proud of Audrey. She is such a leader in this company. So Audrey, so we don't take up too much of your time. We so appreciate you jumping on. Could you just please give your story for us?
Oh, yes. Thank you for that, Dana. That was very, very kind of you. I appreciate it. So just so you know, my name is Audrey Kerger, and I live in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I have 2 little boys. My son Ashton will actually be 6 years old on February 14th. So, oh my goodness, he's growing up too fast. And then I have another one. His name is Archer, and he'll be 3.5 just a few days after Ashton turns 6. And my whole story started multiple years ago. My son Ashton received his vaccinations at 1 and broke out in a rash. Head to the bottom of his feet. I have photographic proof of this. And when I realized a year and a half later that the behaviors that we were seeing were just getting worse and worse, I knew that there was something that I needed to do. And we actually were asked by my son's preschool to have the state come in and take a look. And when the state came in and took a look, they basically referred us to a behavioral pediatrician, and my son was diagnosed with Asperger's, but on the autism scale, the way that they rank things now. And so with that being said, we were actually referred by our pediatrician to do medication, and I wasn't really up on that, especially with the fact that they were suggesting medicines that I had been on as an adult, and I just didn't believe that those were something I wanted a 3-year-old to be doing. And some of the behaviors that we were seeing from my son and why they were recommending these medicines were, he was very, very violent towards others, and there was no determining factors why. I could be jumping on my trampoline with my son, and he would bite my forearm to bleeding. He attacked many children at preschools. At this point, he had already been kicked out of one preschool. This is the second preschool that they asked him not to return. And it was because he was like a walking zombie. He was eating everybody. I could not leave him alone. And when our baby was born, Ashton was 2.5, but by the time Ashton was 3, I couldn't even leave my other son, Archer, alone with him, because when he was crawling, my son saw a moving object and would go and just bite him hundreds of times. One time, happened to be on 4th of July. I have a lot of pictures of this because I was so traumatized by it. What he did to his brother while I was changing clothes was literally from the top of his shoulder all the way to his fingers, bit him about 60 times. Oh. And it was dimensions over my baby's arm. And I was over it. And we started using homeopathy. We weren't getting any relief from that because I really wanted to go to the natural way of things. And that wasn't working. So I decided I was just going to do some more research. And at that point, I was kind of going crazy and I went to a doctor. And the doctor told me that I was bipolar and I needed to be on lithium and anticonvulsants while I was still nursing Archer. And that kind of is what led me into finding CBDs. I went home and I started researching natural, like different remedies, I guess, since I was seeing a homeopathist. And one of the things that I ran into was marijuana. And I was like, well, no, 3.5-year-old is getting stoned. Then I saw people were ingesting marijuana. And I actually read in a lot of studies that they were feeding lab rats who had tumors marijuana leaves, and the tumors were disappearing. And I thought that was very interesting that that's how they were testing this. And then I saw that people were juicing marijuana. And I thought, well, no 3.5, 4-year-old is ever going to drink a green juice, especially one that is so bitter in taste, I'm sure. So I just kept researching and watching videos online and reading studies. And one of the things that I ran into was a company overseas in Denmark, and they were extracting oil from the hemp plant and importing it into America if you so choose to purchase it. And so I purchased this oil. I would say, well, now I've been with this company for 4 months. So basically around 2 years ago, I started importing this oil. And I was using it for myself first and was seeing some relief in my anxiety and stress. So then I decided it would be safe for my son Ashton to use it. And we started giving it to him at a very low dosage. And we didn't really get a lot of results. So I increased the dosage, got some great results. Then they started to kind of fade, so I increased the dosage again, and we were doing really good. But he was still having biting episodes. They just weren't as often. And then 4 months ago, I was driving away from my son's school, and a gentleman knocked on my window, and he came into my nutrition club, and he said, "What do you know about CBDs?" And I kind of blew his mind because he didn't realize who he had walked into. And I actually had to ask him to bring someone else to talk to me because I really had more like a scientific medical questions on this and where it was and how it was being made and how legitimate was it, because I was already using something. And with that being said, I ended up getting some information emailed to me from Dr. Titus. And I actually watched some Janelle Kim videos, and I decided I was going to give it a try. So I ordered some product. I tried it. I felt that it was safe and I was getting even more relief than I was previously. So then I started giving it to Ashton and Archer. And honestly, the last couple of days has been one of my best weeks ever in my whole life, as my son has not been biting, first of all. He's in a regular kindergarten classroom, but they have a sticker chart program for him. And on Monday, I was really, really lucky. He had received 9 stickers, and the teacher was so proud of him. One of his rewards was to call his mom. And at first, I was really honestly upset I didn't get his call. But it's even better now because I actually have a voice recording of my son telling me how proud he is and that how proud his teachers are because he got 9 stickers. And when I picked him up, he had gotten 11 stickers. And then just yesterday, he came home with 17 stickers. Treasure box. And I know in my heart of hearts that it is this product, it is this company, it is this movement that has really set in motion something so wonderful. And I've shared this with a lot of people, and now every day, literally every day, I cry joy, tears, happiness, pure excitement, tears, because people like my uncle are getting relief from pain. My best friend is getting her feeling back in her body from the neuropathy from her diabetes. You know, it's just amazing the things that I've seen and heard, and I'm just so proud to be a part of this, and so glad that that strange man knocked on my window. Really. Now my baby is no longer a zombie. He's like listens and he has eye contact, and you know, we are never going to stop feeding his endocannabinoid system, because I know that's really where this is based on, is the medical information on the endocannabinoid system. It fixes itself. Your body heals itself when it's supplemented properly. You got to eat and you got to drink water. You got to take CBDs, in my opinion. So thank you for letting me share.
Thank you, Audrey.
Yes, thank you, Audrey. We really appreciate you coming on to give your testimony. You know, I always say we're in a very delicate space, so we do have to be very careful with compliance. So to actually have Audrey say it out of her mouth, that is okay. But if I would try to repeat her story, sometimes that's not really allowed. So I felt very fortunate that she came on. So the CBD definitely changed my life also. The testimonies have been just unbelievable. And I love how that Audrey mentioned about the endocannabinoid system, because when I started researching hemp, that's what I started to study, was the endocannabinoid system. I didn't understand anything about it. I also, just real quick, and I'm sure most of you on here already understand the history of hemp, but I find it very, very fascinating. On one hand, you had the cannabis plant, or the marijuana plant is how we know it by. You know, it's very high THC, very low CBD, so it's what gets you high. It's psychoactive. Where on the other hand, you have the industrial hemp plant that's very high CBD, very low THC. So in other words, you could smoke all the hemp you want and you can't get high. So why is it a drug? I mean, that's the ultimate $1 million question as to why it's a drug. So it's interesting when you start doing your history. I was never really into history, but this one's pretty darn interesting when you start figuring it out, that we did everything with hemp. We made clothing out of hemp. Ford made a car out of hemp that ran off of hemp fuel. The San Diego train station is built out of hempcrete. Declaration of Independence, written on hemp paper. They always say that anything oil can do, hemp can do better. Make plastics. There's nothing hemp can't do. So what's the problem, Dana? How did this get taken away from us? Well, 2 very wealthy families out of San Diego, called the Scripps family and the Hearst family, owned lumber mills and owned 23 newspapers. So as you can imagine, we don't need to cut a tree down if we have hemp. So who's going to cut into their profits? So what did they do? They intertwined the industrial hemp plant with the with the marijuana or the cannabis plant, and it came out with a thing called reefer madness. You will go insane if you smoke it. And so anyways, they ended up raising the taxes so high and eventually just making it legal and scheduling it as a drug. Well, what you will find out is since 1937, because remember, hemp was mandatory to grow in most parts of the country. It was grown everywhere. The cows would eat the hemp, we would eat the cow. So in other words, when Audrey mentioned the endocannabinoid system, that's the largest self-regulatory system in your body. And it always got fed because we ate those cows that was eating the hemp. But since 1937, all these strange illnesses come about. You know, we might be living longer, but I'm not convinced we're living healthier. After being in this business, I get to hear all kinds of ailments. I always say, if you're over 50 and you don't hurt, don't worry, you will be. And now I need to lower that number. I'm hearing 30-year-olds and 20-year-olds, and I'll be very honest with you. I'm very passionate about the teenagers. We do have a high suicide epidemic. We do. And if you think about it, that's the third generation removed from feeding this system. The last time most of these kids, or even you, fed your endocannabinoid system with the CBDs was if you were fortunate enough to have been breastfed. And I always say, if the mother's breast milk produces it, you should probably pay attention to it. It's probably pretty good for the body. And so naturally our bodies do produce CBDs, just not enough for the system. That's why we need to ingest more of it into our system, since we're not naturally getting it anymore, since they have taken it away from it. So what is this system? Well, this endocannabinoid system, when you start feeding it the CBDs, it puts you in what they call homeostasis, or that just means balance. It seems to improve mood. It seems to, in my case, why am I so passionate about the teenagers? Well, I'll be very honest with you. I'll finish my testimony up here. I don't like to tell this part of my testimony. I'm not real proud of it. Anyways, my entire life I have struggled with depression. Never understood why you guys want to be on this planet. Doesn't compute in my brain in any way, shape, or form. And so anyways, I'll be honest, I have tried to commit suicide 3 times. One time was pretty severe. I took 13 ephedrine pills, if you know what that is. They've even taken that off the market. So anyways, I'm not sure why I'm here, but my friend describes it beautifully because she struggles with the PTSD and the anxiety and the depression. She said when she started taking the oils, it's as if somebody wiped the mud off of her glasses and she sees clearly now. So I definitely see clearly now, and I really am on a mission for the younger generation. I feel I'm here to speak for them. I keep getting to their parents saying, "You have a teenager, oh my gosh, are they on CBDs?" Because it seems like most of them are suffering. And in my crazy opinion, and I'm not a doctor and I make no claims, in my crazy opinion, these receptors are so deficient that they are not firing properly, because I see things so differently now that I have CBDs in my body. I actually want to be on this planet, which is even crazier. I get why you guys want to be here now. It's kind of a pretty cool place, kind of a, absolutely a cool place. So Audrey did mention about the diabetes here, and I do like to mention, even though I'm not really allowed to say that word, I just want to make sure that anybody that starts ingesting the oils, if they have a type 1 or type 2, please test all the time. Once you start taking the oils, we have actually had occasions where people had to cut their medication in half right away, and then eventually they just get off of their medication. So I just warn people, just make sure you're testing all the time, which you would naturally, of course, if you are diabetic. So anyways, Jana, where would you like me to go with this? How far do you want me to go with this, or what would you like?
You're doing great. Just if you want to open up for questions, or if you want to talk about individual products, my internet did freeze up on me shortly, so I missed some of it. So if you want to talk about just some of the different product lines that people have access to, and maybe
absolutely, yeah, that's a great place to stop. Now, and you probably, most of you on this call understand, but I didn't understand anything about CBD, so I'll just pretend that maybe you don't know anything either. But not all CBDs are created equal. Yeah, the extraction process is very, 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 very important. There's actually a few different ways to extract it. A couple of them are toxic. If you come across CBDs and they have alcohol or ethanol or anything like that in there, please don't take those. Please do not ingest those oils. We're very proud of our company because we were the first one in the industry. We triple lab test our products. We do feel that we have absolutely the purest of the purest oils in the world because of the strict, rigorous testing that our oils go through. It was kind of funny. My daughter's dog was having seizures, and she lives in San Francisco. I live in Phoenix. I say, "Oh my gosh, get to the dispensary now. Get CBDs for that dog." And she did. I'll be honest with you, that did not work. The dog continued to have seizures. I immediately sent our product out, and it's been about 7 months now, and I don't know if it was the CBDs. Again, I make no claims. I am not a doctor. But luckily in 7 months, our dog has not had a seizure, which is kind of cool. What I mean by that is be very careful where you get your CBDs. Also, what we have found with our company is not only do we have the purest of the purest CBDs in the world, but I've been mostly back in Denver, Colorado, spreading the news of the CBDs because they're so open and aware. Plus, I used to live there for 25 years, so I have a lot of friends. Anyways, we have been into many dispensaries back there. When we compare our oils to their oils, not only are our oils superior, and I mean superior as far as quality goes, as far as our high milligram content, but whenever you compare that to theirs, ours are less than half the price of theirs.
Mhm.
Now, that doesn't even compute in my brain, because anytime you're involved with a direct selling company of any sort, you have a superior product, and you do. And that's what we have. We have an incredibly superior product. But what is so amazing is our price is less than half of just about every CBD company out there. That doesn't even make sense to me. So I keep saying, I don't know if I'm saying miracles before my eyes because of that, because our oils are so superior, or a lot of our oils, not all, and I'll explain why not all, but a lot of our oils have a special, what they call bee-bong formula. Now that word bee-bong just means secret. Janelle Kim is an herbologist. If you know anything about herbologists, they can actually study one herb their entire life. And the secret of an herbologist is in the mixture of the herbs. I had somebody read in one of our ingredients what we consider our AM formula. Our AM formula just means it gives you consistent energy throughout the day. And they're like, what the heck is that root in there for? What that herb in there for? That relaxes you. And I said, well, from what I have learned, has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with what other herb you mix it with, which is so fascinating to me. It doesn't even, it's amazing to me. So anyways, we thought it would be amazing to not only have the purest and the best oils in the world, which we feel we can prove, but what if we added this special bee balm formula, which comes from the royal Korean family? It's been passed down through a long lineage. I've actually got to meet our herbologist, Janelle Kim. Amazing lady. So I don't know if we're seeing miracles before our eyes, and let me tell you, unbelievable miracles. And in fact, I always say that our oils are so amazing. We have so many testimonies on it that I've been very fortunate that because I told a few friends and they told a few friends about it, we have 1,000 people that have gotten onto our oils now. And what's so amazing is our company has a 30-day money-back guarantee. So you're welcome. If you don't feel any difference, go ahead and send it back. And of those 1,000 people that have gotten onto the oils, I don't know of one single soul that has sent it back, but you are more than welcome to. So the difference in our oils, or why do we even have a variety of oils? Well, that's an excellent question. Well, first of all, our parent company is Medical Marijuana Inc. They've been around since 2009. They are a publicly traded company. We are just one distribution. What the heck? I just got a message coming up on there, something about Zoom. We're just one distribution mode of Medical Marijuana Inc. And we have Hemp Meds, Action Biotechnology. So anyways, Dr. Stuart Titus, who is the president, he's actually one of the forefront doctors that's running this whole revolution that's going on right now. Dr. Stuart Titus, as well as a team of doctors, have determined that as a daily dietary supplement, every single human body, doesn't matter if it's a 3-year-old or a 50-year-old man, doesn't matter. They need a minimum for a healthy body of 50 milligrams of CBD oils a day. And I said healthy, and I'll be very honest, I do take about 120 milligrams a day. So anyways, our oils, we have some of them that have an AM formula and a PM formula. And I always say our PM formula, we could have built the whole company on. I had no idea how many people have problems sleeping. Absolutely amazing to me. Our PM formula, about 45 minutes before bed, you take 9 drops underneath your tongue, and then you swallow it. And there they are. There's probably an AM formula and a PM. Jana just put up there. And anyways, you'll sleep like you've never slept before. But when you open your eyes in the morning, don't try to go back to sleep. It is absolutely go time. You will feel very rested. So amazing. We also came out with another product. We just launched it a few months ago, and at the time, it was the strongest product we came out with. It is called our premium hemp oil, and it comes actually in a tube. I don't know if Jana has that in front of you at all, but it comes in a tube. That's okay. It's 1,500 milligrams of CBD oil, or 50 milligrams per serving. Now, the best way to take that is you put it a little bit on your finger and you rub it all over your gums. But this one's really tough to do that because it tastes very terrible. So they actually give us vegan capsules. And I'll be honest, I'm a little bit of a wimp in that case. I did it once and this girl's not going to do that again. I put it in the capsules and I take it in the capsules. Now, what's so amazing about that product is it is a heated version of the CBDs with a non-heated version. It hits 85 cannabinoids in your body. And so that's very, very high milligrams, which is really cool. Now, just a few days ago, actually about a week ago now, we launched the absolute most potent CBD out there. And it's actually our, if you've ever heard of hemp meds, they have Real Scientific Hemp Oil. They are actually all over the world. That is our sister company. It also comes in a tube, and it's 3,600 milligrams in that tube. And it even says Real Scientific Hemp Oil on it. Now, this one is an absolute 1,000% game changer for people that have very, very, very severe. I have to watch my mouth, but you know where I'm going with that. Anyways, per capsule, or if you have the guts to put it on your gums, actually the best way. But per capsule is 120 milligrams per capsule. I have not tried that one. I can't wait to get my hands on it. I am ordering it. Like I said, we just launched that one. And then one last product that I really, really want to emphasize as far as the oils go is we came out with a product, and we had to because we had a little girl from Mexico having about 100 seizures a day. And I don't know if you know anything about seizures. You probably know a lot about it. I did not, but they put them on very harsh medications. When that doesn't stop the seizures, they actually take out part of the brain. When that doesn't work, like in the instance with this little girl, and during this whole process, they had to revive her like 8 different times. There's no way this little girl should even be on this planet. But anyways, when all that doesn't work, they were putting her on the last medication, which they actually told the father she probably will not survive 30 days. The father wouldn't hear of that and did a lot of research on the internet and wanted to give CBD oils a shot. But he wanted to do it legally because he did not want his little girl taken away from him. So he did go to the Mexican government, and he said to the Mexican government, I've been to the doctors. This is what they've done to her. This is, even part of the brain's gone and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, the Mexican government, in my opinion, really thought they were tricking them because they said, absolutely, we will grant you access. You can absolutely give your little girl CBD oils under one condition. And this is where the government thought they were going to get him. And they said, absolutely, as long as those CBD have 0% THC in it. So anyways, the father came to our company. We did not have this product. We actually created a product that has 0 THC in it. And we also took all that special bee bone formula out of it because, as you probably know, if you had a salad today and you ate poppy seed dressing, you could test positive for opiates. Well, anyways, we wanted to pass all the anti-no doping rules of the entire world. So what did we do? We took every single thing out of it, including all THC, so that it does pass the anti-no doping. And so anyway, so we got that product into this little girl's hand, into the father's hands to give to his little girl. I have met this little girl. Her name is Sadie. It seems to have stopped all the seizures. It was amazing, but because part of her brain is gone, she's not really fully here. That's for sure. But she is seizure free, which is amazing, to us. So if anybody's worried about a drug test in any way, shape, or form, if you're a doctor, if you're, a pilot, if you're in the military, if you're in the NFL, or if you're an Olympic athlete, you can certainly take this product. And speaking of the NFL, I don't know if any of you have ever seen the movie Concussions. It's about the study of the CTE concussions on the brain of the NFL players. Will Smith actually plays this Dr. Amalu in the movie. This Dr. Amalu is actually on our board. And what they found out is when you start taking the CBDs, it's like putting a second helmet on. So we also knew that we had to be able to get into the NFL players' hands. And now we can with that new product that we had launched with THC. So it's pretty cool there. Another amazing product we have is the salve. We call that our gateway to all the other oils. That's the one that I put on my lower back and went, are you kidding me? I have friends who put it on their T-zone for a migraine headache. It's just absolutely amazing. Oh, did you have it in front of us there, Jan? Very good. We call that our gateway to all the other oils because once you start to get relief, you're like, oh my gosh. And then I say, hey, try ingesting it and see if the inflammation might go down or something. You might be amazed. You just might. Pretty amazing. And then we have a bath soak that is always really wonderful, especially if you know anybody on chemotherapy or anything like that, because they have a lot of heavy metals going into their body. We always suggest to anybody actually to take our bath soak. We actually suggest the full bottle the first time because we're all full of these heavy metals. We just are. Get those heavy metals out of your body and then start on the oils. It seems like it may be more effective right off of the bat. And then the other product that we have, of course, a vape pen. I've heard a lot of amazing, seems to help people with the COPD, which is amazing. Doesn't make sense to me. Hey, I can't breathe here. Smoke this vape. Now I know it's not smoke or anything. It's just vape. But what happens is it seems to open those lungs and get the CBD right into the lungs. We've had a lot of veterans that I just love hearing the testimonies. Like I could live my whole life now just listening in testimonies. I know that sounds crazy, but it's so fun. When you can change somebody's life, that's a lot of fun. And when you can give it back to them, I always say, I'm a 51-year-old lady that was going on 80 years old. And I was 51 going on 80. Now I'm a 51-year-old going on 30. And I'm good again. And I really do. I really do. So it's been absolutely life-changing for me. So anything else you'd like me to talk on about there?
No, I think you pretty much hit it all in regards to that. Do you want to? Can y'all hear me? Because I can't.
Yeah, you're fine, sweetie.
Okay,
Yes.
good. Sorry, my
Yes.
internet is just not happy today.
No, it's okay on this end.
Okay, good.
One of the things that, because I am an herbalist and
Nice.
yeah, so which is great. So when I looked at the AM and PM formulas, I wrote back Jana and I said, oh, they're using herbals here that are used for calming the Shin, which is the spirit in Chinese medicine. And so what is used there are adjunctive herbs that help to calm the spirit down in the AM and PM formulas. And they help to nourish the body a little bit more too. The other side of that, speaking from the perspective of herbal medicine though, is that as I've always said around herbs, that if they're strong enough to work in one direction the way that you want them to, they're also strong enough to maybe be too much for maybe what someone's needing. Oh. And so that is why they're very balanced herbs that they chose. I was familiar with all of them. I was trained in all of them. And they did a nice job of formulating, but I like that the products are available without the Bebong addition of that. But to be completely honest, I think that what we would call in Chinese medicine is called Shin disturbance. And it is where the spirit is disquieted for whatever reason. You know, in your case, Dana, it was like a lifelong pattern for you. And it was, you know, my gosh, Dana, that's a huge deal to recover that at your midlife. I mean, that's awesome. So it's so good. So for you, I would say that was probably a really great formulation. But there might be others for whom that isn't exactly what they need, and it could almost be too sedating for them. And so I like that the availability of the CBD is there. Without those adjuncts, if we feel that it's not the right need for, you know, in my case, the patient. Is how we talk about that. The other thing too is that in my clinical practice, I work with CBD that is derived directly from the press of just a long simmered marijuana plant and then pressed out. I've used essential oils in my practice. I practice acupuncture, and I've used essential oils in my practice for a number of years now, and for pain presentations. And I've always felt like the oils can be very effective for pain, but what they do is they almost cause like an excitation at the nerve ending, so that it's almost like you're distracted from the pain. Whereas a topical regular application of the THC CBD oil that I have, with enough application, it actually makes the pain stop, just as you say. However, what I was finding is one, and this is why I really connected with Jana on this, was the expense of it. Total pain in the butt, expensive. And secondly was the fact that actually I needed to use a lot of it. And at that expense, that's just not cutting the mustard. And so to hear you talk about how you were able to notice an effect topically within, it sounds to me like the first application,
Yes.
kind of blows my mind. And I'm just from the perspective of a person who uses this stuff in my practice, and for that to have that effect without the, like I say, that nervous excitatory, like wintergreen and peppermint, they kind of distract from the pain. And they've got other compounds that actually do help with the pain. So they work that way, but to have something that doesn't have that aspect to it and actually just, boom, gets in there and makes it stop because you're actually nourishing the body at that cellular level is super cool. That's awesome. So, and then finally, the last thing of it is also the mental effect of the THC. That's something that I don't want for my children. It's not something I know some people like that buzz and I don't. And so I don't want it for me. And I don't want it for my patients either. I mean, if they want that, that's fine, but that's not what I want to supply to them. And so to have this nourishment for the body, because exactly, inherently, we create, and we have our endocannabinoid system, just like we have our innate opiate system within our body. We are designed to use these systems within us inherently, so that our body does stay out of a sympathetic override pattern and can move into a parasympathetic override pattern of the rest and relaxation and recovery. And so this is brilliant that it has such a fast effect. That 30-day money back refund is phenomenal. I mean, that is like total proof in the pudding right there. I mean, if it ain't working for you, take the money back. That's amazing. And then finally the cost. And I know I've mentioned that a little bit, but the cost is a big one. And I was really, Jana, God bless her, she got to hear me out as I said, I've been working in plant medicine for 20 years, and I have never seen plant medicine be this expensive. However, this is less costly than the other cannabinoid producing substances that I've come upon. I've been into dispensaries and obviously the folks that are working in there, they're using the product regularly, and you can see it on them, and they're high and all the time, like they're just chronically high. And God bless them, because it's one of those things where you can see it's helping them to get through other things. They're high. And this makes me so happy to see that this is available without the high. Because we do need it. Sean, God love Sean, he's seen me talk way too many times at different presentations. But the thing that is that Sean's heard me talk about how in the design of what we've done around nutrition, we've really changed a lot in the last couple hundred years. And I've always talked about, exactly as you mentioned, that the animals are not being fed the foods that they need to be eating and so on and so forth. And then when we eat those products, that's a big part of why we're not showing up with what we need. But in the instance of the hemp product and it being something, Sean, you've heard me talk about it. I'm always talking about the grass, and the grass is high in omega-3s. And
Yep.
so, yeah, if the grass isn't there, then it's not happening. But this is another kind of grass. and I hadn't thought of it. Sean, isn't this awesome? Like, I can't wait.
It is awesome.
So anyways, to me, it's very, very exciting to have this be another one of the missing components that we didn't know was missing. And it's exactly that. And I wasn't breastfed. My sister was on the call. She wasn't breastfed. And so we never had that from the beginning. And I'll be honest, I never liked getting high. Like, I did not like that feeling. And so like that, I never got it. And so I'm excited to just be using it regularly.
I love that. That's so cute. Hey, you know what? Can I interrupt for half a second? Dana, you have you told a story that just cracked me up about some of your friends in Denver that were.
Okay, yes, and I'll ask
I know
you.
you know where I'm going.
I
with
know
this.
exactly what is the number one age group that smokes pot?
50s.
Higher.
50s. Oh, really? 60s?
Yes, it's actually over the age of 60, and I believe the majority of that is women. But we won't go to that side of it. Anyways,
Interesting.
It is
I have 3 really good friends in Denver, Colorado, all over the age of 60. And you probably know where I'm going with this, but I didn't even know this term. They're what they're called wake and bakers.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, so they smoke pot from the time they get up till the time they go to bed. And anyways, they've done it for years. And I really thought, in my opinion, that it was for the high.
Yeah.
But now I'm not so convinced because
Yeah.
all 3 of these women I have gotten onto the CBDs. And remember about the marijuana plant. Remember how it's very high THC, but there's a little bit of CBDs?
Right.
Anyways, all 3 of these women said the same thing to me. Dana, I keep forgetting to smoke my pot. What? I think their body was craving those CBDs. And so they just kept smoking more, and they kept smoking more, and they kept smoking more. Kind of crazy. But then I was working the San Diego Cannabis Convention, and I had this 25-year-old guy come to me. He says, Dana, what do you know about heroin?
Oh,
Heroin? I don't know anything. And he says, well, do you know how you come off of heroin? I'm like, no. He said, well, you either get arrested or you die because it's pretty addictive. He says, I know people have come off it, but it's pretty addictive. He said, I'm here to tell you, I beat heroin with CBDs. I said,
Wow.
what? And right away, I had to go and I had to do my research on CBD and addiction. And I'm like, I'm blown away. I'm just blown away. And you could probably speak to that. I'm like, Jana, why am I doing a presentation with her kind of knowledge here? I just wasted these people's time. I would love to just sit here and listen to her all day and learn.
I know.
My gosh.
I told you guys, Sarika's amazing.
Oh my gosh, she's
I did.
amazing.
She's the best.
Here, Sean, that you've listened to her all these years. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
let's nobody interrupt and we'll just shut up and learn. Okay, go ahead.
I've heard them all.
So, do any of you all have any questions at all for Dana or Sarika?
Yeah, no,
and I
for
throw you
Sarika.
under the,
No,
I throw
Dana,
you under the
you.
bus, Sarika. Because or
Actually,
me,
I
I
have-
don't know as much, but
I do have a question. On the one that you were talking about to rub it on your gums, why rub it on the gums? Why not under the tongue?
Well, go ahead. There you go, Doc.
Oh dear. Well, and this is the thing, Sean, is I was thinking the same thing because this is going to go, it's going to surpass the portal vein when we go underneath the tongue. Obviously, if we're having this exposure to the buccal tissue, we're going to get absorption there, but I'm thinking of letting a lot of it go underneath the tongue so that you get past the portal vein. And you just get a direct hit into the system. Alan, do you have anything you want to say
I
about
have
that?
it right here.
Alan's a doctor too. Oh, there it is.
oh, here we go.
No, yeah, I do have a couple of questions actually.
Okay.
I'm kind of new with that stuff, and the grass and all that. But the thing is like number one question: if I want to get educated, can I go to your website and you've got all the information about it? That's number one question. And the number two question, I'm thinking that we're
Uh-oh. Alan,
We lost him.
did we lose you, sweetie? Oh, but,
Here he comes.
okay, here he comes. He's back on. Okay.
hello?
There you are. Okay, go ahead, honey.
Yeah, so the number one question, there's no problem with the law, I suppose, right? And where I can get educated, that's the number two question. And the number three question will be about the emotional aspect of the cannabis.
So the functional aspect of it, your line was cutting out just a little bit. The functional aspect of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So number one question, the law or
Okay, the education around it. And I'll send you the link to my website that they've established for me. And it does. It's got different research information there, specific to CBDs. So no problem. I'll definitely get that to you. And then functional aspect of it. What did you mean by that?
Oh man.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, something's going funky.
Yeah.
I think somebody,
Jim,
Sarika, can
my
you mute the
question-
person?
Yeah, I'm
Who's-
trying to
who's-
see who. It
There
might,
we go.
Okay, go ahead, Elaine. Go ahead.
Okay. So my question is emotional, but
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, friend, but that one, it's like our line is really bad. I don't know if you want to maybe try and disconnect and connect again. Or you can also you can shoot me a Facebook message and I'll get to it for you.
yes. Okay.
Oh, now I hear
I'm
you.
sorry,
folks.
but-
Now
There you are.
Yeah, no.
So
okay.
can I answer one quick little question
Yes.
in regards? Okay, so there's, Sarika has a website, so she will get you that information that will help you be able to sort of maneuver through it. We also have, and I just set this up a few weeks ago because sometimes getting the information from on a website was overwhelming to some people because they're used to more of a social media platform. I did set up a little Facebook group that has a lot of everything that's on the big website sort of listed in a social media platform that has a lot of the videos and links and things like that. And I'm continually updating it, what the website will have too. So definitely get hooked up with Sarika's website. If you're interested in hopping on that Facebook platform, then feel free to. What was the other thing I was going to say? There's also a Kannaway corporate Facebook platform that you can join so that if you have questions, there's people from corporate on there. They are really amazing because Dana is on the field advisory board. I'm going to throw you out there, Dana. Because Dana's on the field advisory board, we are really blessed that if you have a question that you really need answered, that someone like myself who is not, I'm not a trained herbologist, I'm not a medical practitioner, I am just someone who is a science nerd and I love science. I've always believed that this plant has something to offer us, and I have a story of myself and how a story from my daughter that I can share with people. Dana, being a field advisory board member, if we have a question that we can't get answered, she has always gotten my questions answered because I'm not a trained practitioner. I'm not as well versed as Sarika, or is it Elaine? Is that how you say it, your name? I'm not as well versed. Oh, okay. I'm not as well versed in that medical side of it. So Dana has always been amazing at being able to get an answer that I need. And the company is always able to help us out because everybody needs to feed their endocannabinoid system, but not everybody is a practitioner. So there's that different levels of understanding. I take it, I feel great. I know it's working. You guys take it and have a deeper understanding as to what's truly working. So I hope that helps with the education piece of it and the support of education.
Good. And
I get the Facebook. Where can I get the Facebook connection?
that you just did that, Jana. Just connected me with it, and I will. Is it the hemp?
The Crusader. Well, there's the Crusader. There's the
Okay.
the Cannabinoid Crusader page that I started. That's private, and that's where a lot of the videos and whatnot that I put on there.
Okay.
There's also a page called Building a Hempire, and that is everyone who has. That is for anyone and everyone who has already joined the movement, is using the products and has questions and things like that. The Crusader page is a very general education page, and that is for anybody who is using our products. It's also for anyone who is possibly interested in using our products. So I set that up as a support group for anyone who just has basic questions or basic interests. So it just depends on the person and what their level of connectivity with the company and the products are.
So do you think for answering the scientific questions, should it be then sort of more of the Kannaway Crusaders one?
I would just go ahead and all of you join the Crusader page, and that way you can take a peek at all of it. Sarika can get you her website, and then and she can help get you started. And then also, if Sarika, if you have any questions or technical issues, Dana and I are always available to help with that. Customer service is available to make phone calls to.
Yeah.
We are growing at an exponential rate. We don't have enough people in customer service because we're growing so fast. People seem to be so open to this now, whereas they used to be so closed.
Mm-hmm.
They're so open to this now, and they're tired of being tired. They're tired of being in consistent discomfort, that they're willing to forego the traditional or the new traditional method, because the traditional method is natural, and try these things. And so we're growing, and so it may take a minute or two to get through to customer service, just because we're growing.
And the thing that I've seen is that customer service has to be very careful. Like my sister has tried to connect with them about, can this help my son? He has a sensory processing disorder, and they really can't say anything. And
Right.
and I get that. And to that question, sister of mine, when you get back on the call, she keeps getting kicked off for some reason. When I think it's worth it, Amy, to try for a month. And if you don't notice the
Hey,
difference.
Sarika, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I got a conference call I got to jump on,
You
but
bet, sweetie. Take care.
email me, okay?
Okay.
Right.
Thank
Love you.
Love you too.
Bye, Sean.
Bye, guys. Thanks.
But Amy, I think that it's worth it for you to try this for Lucas. Now, this was one of the questions I had about dosing. When we're working with just a CBD oil this way, as opposed to something with THC this way, and we do want to get a big movement, a big impact, in terms of filling receptor sites, is it worth it to invest in one of the more concentrated doses out the gate, and then with the intent that as your receptor sites are being filled and your cup runneth over with CBDs, then at that point to really back off to maybe 50 milligrams a day. I mean, and then also my question is as well, what are the dosages? So like Lucas, I mean, he's a little boy, he's 7. And so I don't know if 50 milligrams would be considered a high dose for him out the gate. It very well may be. And then it could be maybe half a dose, after a month or two.
I was just having a conversation with one of our girls who is an herbologist as well. And she was actually just talking about that, about how she's just started with our product and she's absolutely loving it. She's able to handle her daily anxiety in life a little bit better. And that was one of the things that she was saying, is that in regards to the suggested serving size, because it's not, for us, it's not a dosage, it's a suggested serving size of 50 milligrams per day per person. But she's taking more than that. And she was talking about, the body, once it does get in balance, that 50 milligrams per day for her would be the appropriate serving size for her once she reaches that sort of homeostasis point.
Right.
But that was just for her.
Yeah.
In regards to the kids, this is what I've heard from a lot of parents who do use this with their children, and they start out small. And that's like, unfortunately, Audrey's not here to comment directly on that, but what if memory serves me correctly, that's what she said, was she did it herself, felt it safe, and then started small, and then she, as the parent, made a decision on how much to give him. So I can't answer an exact, and I don't think Dana could either. She made a decision as a parent. That would be a question for our science department, our R&D department at corporate. I cannot answer that.
That's okay. Well, I think, is there a pretty easy way to connect with those folks? Because those are the kinds of questions I have, because I am a practitioner. And
Yes.
and I do want to know those kind of directives on
Yes.
how to support people the right way so that they have like a running start out the gate.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing of it is there a drawback? I mean, is there a contraindication to starting maybe higher than a little person really needs? I mean, are there symptoms that would come up? Because we're not talking about THC, we're talking about CBD.
Right.
And so I'm just wondering, do we know of any contraindications out the gate that way?
Dana, is there anybody that you can get that in our science or R&D department that you can get her in contact with? Is there anybody that?
Yeah, I mean, the best way, and I don't know of any that we've heard of any problems whatsoever. That's for sure. We're just the opposite of you, and you may have it correctly. We always tell people to start out with pretty much the minimum, which is the 50 milligrams, and then it seems like, and I could be crazy, but I keep telling people, listen to your body.
Yeah.
And like for me, I know that right around 120 milligrams, I feel optimum. I do. If I'm only on 50, I can tell I'm getting pretty achy.
Oh, wow.
And then if I miss a day, I hurt. I really hurt. And I know that. But it seems like people seem to know that. But you can always write all these questions out and send it to support@kannaway.com. They will directly send it to Dr. Stuart Titus. Your response will be from a doctor.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. I'll definitely want to choose here a little bit about these things. So good. Well, I'll talk to Amy about it.
Yes.
Just direct her on that.
Yes.
Good. Well,
It might be a good idea, Sarika, if you send the questions with your credentials. That way they'll be like, oh, wow. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Definitely. Because I'll definitely talk to you different than me.
Because they'll be able to use different words that we might not understand.
That's right.
No, I mean, we talk about these things differently. It's totally perfect.
That's right.
I love you.
I love you too, sweetie. I'm very happy we're connected this way. And I mean, to me, that's one of the sweet spots of this is that, I come at it from a practitioner's perspective.
Yes.
But I'm so grateful that this is something that has a groundswell among people that aren't nerds about herbs and stuff. The way I am, groundswell among people who just really want to feel better and they want this for their families and the people they love. And so there's a little bit of blind faith in that.
Yeah.
And that's where the whole testimonial, that like gets people.
Yes.
It's very beautiful. But then, you're going to have folks like me who are like, okay, let's practice.
I'm going, what?
That's awesome. But now I need to understand a little deeper about how we can really work this best for each patient.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I know we can.
Okay.
The stories you're telling me in conjunction with what I know from my own practice with using this, it's good. It's all good. It's just a matter of finessing for each person's needs.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think that blind faith we've reached a point where so many people are doing things everyday people are doing things on blind faith because they have hit a bottom point.
Yes.
They've trusted so many other things that just aren't working on the daily.
Yes.
That it's like, all right, here we go. Blind faith, jumping in head first. I'm just gonna do
that was
it.
me. I said, Jeff, quit telling me about it. I don't care. And I don't. I'll try anything and I will.
Yeah.
And you get to that point.
You do. It hurts. It hurts too bad. And I'm done with the pharmaceuticals. I'm done. done.
Yeah.
And I'm the majority of the people out there. And so many of us want to be healthy and not high. And I'm the majority. But and we'll give anything a shot. We've been brainwashed with the stigmatism, that we'll go insane with this stuff. And we're done listening to the authority on this. We want to go the natural route, and we do.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. It is. It's wonderful. And it is so stinking effective. It's
It is. It is.
Well, that's good. So what I think I'll do is I'll connect with them directly, and so it is okay if I were to invite people who maybe are not Kannaway distributors. It's okay for me to invite them to the Kannaway Crusaders page.
Oh, absolutely. That
Okay.
page I set up, like I said, I think I set it up on January 5th or 6th. I just recently set it up. It's a baby. It's still growing.
Sure.
Everything I put on there is public information from our parent company, or from Kannaway, or from HipMeds Brazil. I mean, any of our subsidiaries, any of our parent company or sister companies. It's all public information.
Okay.
But it's in one place.
Oh, good. Okay.
You know what I mean? Because otherwise you might have to go to this page or that page.
And I do not have time for that. I know.
Nobody does.
Nobody does.
Nobody does. That's why I put it in one place.
Awesome.
So if you have anyone interested, just make sure you get their permission to add them, because you don't want to be a silent ninja and stick them in some group without their knowledge.
Exactly.
And that, but then, you can always tag me and say, hey, Jana, I just added so-and-so. It doesn't, just to welcome them or whatever.
Okay.
Or you can go through and find things and tag them, just so if they have a question, like, why should I don't understand. Well, there's videos and from Dr. Stuart Titus and other people about the endocannabinoid system, or what phytocannabinoids are and how so there's things that you can tag them in specific to what they need.
Yeah.
And just to let you know, because I think you could be a large part of it also, is our company is coming out with something called ECHO. It's education, collaboration, and hope. Now, you know how I always say, whenever you get sick, and it's not as funny with you, but whenever we get sick, we're all doctors. We go to the WebMD, right? And we're all dying. So, we all diagnose ourselves, right? Well, anyways, you're going to be able to go to ECHO, and it's going to be all the scientific studies in there. You're going to be able to punch in cancer or whatever, and it's going to tell you what they think that maybe would be best for you. One step further, you only want to go to a CBD doctor. You're going to be able to put your zip code in there, and a list of them comes up.
Oh, cool.
So I believe you'll be a big part of that somehow. And so that's launching in just a couple weeks. We're excited. We are going to be the WebMD of the CBDs.
That is awesome. That's super, super promising.
Yes.
Wow.
So Dana, when you say that, does that mean that like Sarika or other practitioners that she could be featured in that zip code?
I would think so. I would think so. I would think we were especially looking for the herbologists and stuff, because that's what this is. This is a nerve, nothing but a nerve.
It is.
That's all it is. So I would think you could be a huge part of it, and we could grow your business too as well through something like that, through the education of it. And,
that's wonderful. Well, I love it because it's right in keeping with my training.
Yes.
And
I love that. And I'm hoping, Sarika, that you're able to drive down the hill on February 18th to Phoenix to come meet the people at corporate. So.
And Dr. Stuart Titus is who she has to talk to.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll definitely want to connect with him personally, if that's possible. I'm sure he's going to have 8 million people around him, but I think it'll be great. I'd like to just have a moment of FaceTime just so we know each other for a second.
You'll get it. You'll get it. He'll be your best friend in the world. That's the type of person he is.
Oh, he has the best smile. I love that guy.
Oh, and this guy is a billionaire, but when he talks to you only exist. The world goes away.
That's how it should be. That's how he got to be a billionaire.
Right?
Seriously.
See?
That's it.
It's key.
That is.
I love that.
It's so good. Well, this is great. Dana, I'm so happy to meet you. I'm sure I'll be meeting you in February.
Yes.
And Jenna, I haven't even said anything to Grant yet because he's going to wet his pants. Come down.
Not coming down the mountain.
You're coming down the
mountain, buddies.
Yes, he'll just love it so much. So it's great. So thank you both, and
you're so welcome.
Stephanie, you stayed on the whole time. Thank you, Levy. I really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Sarika,
it was great to see you.
Thank you.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.